when you get to your lawyer's office and they throw a whole bunch of stuff at you and papers that you don't understand, and then they want to come up with a parenting plan and money's divided here and money divided there. I mean, these conversations are brutal. Your son is more disruptive lately in class, seems to be emotional, seems to be not focusing. What kind of conversations are you going to have with your son? They're going to come from love? They're going to come from anger? What emotions are you going to bring to those conversations? The difficult conversations that you have can be more difficult or less difficult, and it's up to you. I mean, when your emotions are so strong, you care so much, you're so deeply invested in the situation, it's hard to think rationally. It's hard to make best choices. And you're going to have a lot of difficult conversations. When dad texts you and asks if he can take one of the kids on a Sunday, a special one-on-one, and in the same text, he lets you know, maybe what you're doing wrong, some way of parenting that he doesn't agree with. It makes perfect sense if you react and say, don't talk to me like that. And hell no, you can't have Bobby for the Sunday when it's my weekend. But you can decide to say, sure, Bobby would love that. Thanks for thinking of him. A one-on-one would be great. When you get to your lawyer's office and they throw a whole bunch of stuff at you and papers that you don't understand, and then they want to come up with a parenting plan and money's divided here and money divided there. I mean, these conversations are brutal. It would help if you went in with a plan. Think, okay, if I don't understand something, I'm going to pause. I'm going to ask to take it home, take a look at it. I'm going to ask questions. Prepare yourself for the difficult conversation that's coming up in the lawyer's office. And, I can remember being real organized, walking up to my lawyer's office, getting into the meeting, and it was like a fog came over me. And I couldn't think straight. I couldn't focus. All I could think about was losing my kids, ruining their lives. How was I going to have enough money to live? How was I going to pay? Where was I going to live? It was a complete fog so much of the time. So it's your emotions that really get in the way of having a rational conversation. And the difficult conversations, well, you can kind of plan for them. What about when your baby looks at you and says, Mommy, please, please let Daddy come home. Mommy, please, please don't get divorced. Stay married. What are you going to say? You can plan for this. Grab them, hold them tight, hug them, and let them know that you love them more than anything in the world. Daddy loves them more than anything in the world. That will never change. This is not their fault. And love, love, love. You can plan to have these conversations, and you can, talk them out. Speak to yourself in the mirror. Talk to a friend. You can work them out before they happen. What about when the teacher calls and says, your your son is more disruptive lately in class, seems to be emotional, seems to be not focusing. What kind of conversations are you going to have with your son? They're going to come from love? They're going to come from anger? What emotions are you going to bring to those conversations? It's fear and all of the emotions that you're feeling that get in the way of being able to speak rationally and clearly. And it's a lack of planning. So if you know what your vision is and you know where you're headed with your family and the new dynamic of your family and the relationship that you like to keep with one another, if you know your vision of your future family relationship and you're aware of who you need to be now to make that vision a reality and create that family that you want, it can help you to have the conversations that are important right now and walk that high road. So I can remember when I was first transitioning through divorce, I decided to only say nice things about Dad. And when I spoke to him in person or on email or texting, I always thought of him as my best buddy. And I would treat him no less than I would treat the clerk at the grocery store. And that's how I looked at it. So that means, and I would try to treat him better than that. I would try to treat him better than the clerk at the grocery store, but no worse than that. So that really helped me to kind of keep my eye on the ball, keep my eye on my vision of my future, keep my eye on what was important for my boys and the relationship that they needed to have with myself and with their dad and with our whole new family dynamic and our family relationship. And it seemed to have worked out okay. So I challenge you today, right now, to text one of your children or phone their other parent or text their other parent and say something kind, loving, anything short, some small message. Thanks for being their dad. Thanks for the other day for dropping them off. Just think of one nice thing to say to their other parent and to them. Shoot that text off now, and then make this a way that you're going to have conversations going forward.